So this video is to help people who are real newbies at Gradecam. So this will just show you essentially how to get on, create an exam, and print off forms. So start off by going to Gradecam, and this is assuming that you've already signed on and are able to log in. So gradecam.com, obviously, you're going to go to log in. Put in your credentials. And here you see a list of all of the assignments that I've already have created. Yours will likely be blank, so that's okay because you're already presented with this tab right here that says new. So depending on what you want to create, there's a drop down menu here. Most people are interested in Gradecam because of the ability to do multiple choice questions and grade them and analyze the data very simply. So we're going to create a new multiple choice assignment, and we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call mine sample name. You can describe it as well. You want to pick the length of questions. So this is assuming that you've already created the tests. So you have a test or a quiz or a questionnaire, in multiple choice format that you've already created. So you have that you've created, and let's say it's 15 questions. So you're going to save that. And here you are confronted with a key. So you have to create the key for the test that you've created. So, you'll go through here and click all the correct answers for each question with the test that you've already created. It's got the option here of a fifth answer choice if you want to do A, B, C, D, or E, which would, whether you want to have 4 or 5 or 3 even choices, all those are possible. You can even do true and false with just A, B if you like. But again, you're just going through in here and clicking the correct answers based on the questions that you've already created. And that's pretty much it. Okay. So here we've created the key. Now, in order to scan those, you can do a couple of different things. Okay, if you've got a document camera set up on your computer, or a like a webcam set up on the computer, then you can do that here. Here, because I'm using my home computer, it's asking to install the Gradecam plugin on this side. You can do that as well, and then you'd be able to grade them. I typically grade mine using my iPad because the iPad app is pretty well integrated with the camera, and so it's a lot quicker and easier for me to use. But if you're going to use it on your computer, you come over here and click install the Gradecam plugin, download that, and it's going to download, and you're going to download it, obviously. Hi, I got the that installed. As you can see now, the camera's working. That took all of 30 seconds, but to spare you that, Once you download that, your camera should be online, hopefully. As you can see, I'm here, dressed in my Sunday best. I'm at home on my couch. So what I'm going to show you next is how to print off the answer sheets to give out to your students. So come over here to where it says Forms. Click on Forms. You get this pop-up screen. This is the name of the test that we're giving, or the assignment. Where it says print generic form for any class, you're going to choose that drop-down menu. Now our district creates these classes for us, so we don't have to go in and put in every single student. So this basically is my first period, second period, third period, fourth period. I'm just going to choose first period. Now what I actually did was I went back into my first period and I created a sample student. So I'm going to show you in a second what their form looks like. But you're going to leave that one pre-filled forms for all students. One copy. Size, leave that at 100. Form per page, if you want to try to allow multiple per page, that's just going to mean you're going to have to cut them in half. I'll just leave mine at 1 form per page, and then you're going to click generate. What that's basically doing is creating a PDF with all the different answer sheets for the kids in your first period class. So if you're going to give this to all of your class, you're going to want to go down and repeat that for each class that you're giving this quiz or exam to. And then you're going to want to click download PDF. I'm not clicking that because it'll appear and it's got all my real students' names on it, and I can't do that because it's a violation of federal law, so I'm not going to click that. But once you got that printed off, then you are going to want to scan that once your students have filled those out. So obviously you've given your test at this point. You have 25 or 30 or 35 or however many students you gave it to. You have their forms filled out. Okay, so this is what that's going to look like. Okay, this is the sample one I was telling you about. The student's name is on it right up here. Okay, and then it's got 15 questions that are have been filled out by this student. Okay, and as you can see, because my camera is the one that you use to scan it with, Gradecam went ahead and graded that. So you can see my sample student, my Gradecam sample, has not done super well on this, getting a 5 out of 15. But it's as simple as that. You hold this baby up to the camera and it grades it. And as you can see, it's telling me now that I've already scanned this one, so I need to scan the next one. So this goes ahead and gives me the information from that student, which ones they got wrong, the correct answer, along with the one that they answered. And so there's a lot of different things you can do with this later. So the best part about Gradecam is actually not even the fact that you can grade all your students in 5 minutes, which is awesome, don't get me wrong, but it actually comes in the value of what you can then do with the data that has been uploaded to the program. So I'm just going to show you a few things that that you can use Gradecam for once all the data has been input through scanning all of your tests. So I'm first going to show you individual student data just with the sample student that I have here, just because again I don't want to violate anyone's privacy by showing you students and their actual scores. So I'm going to show you the reports right here for just this, again, fake sample student. So let me show you the student information. So when you click on students and you go to overview, it's going to give you a list of all the students that took the test or the quiz. If you're a secondary teacher like me, I teach 8th grade, it's it's going to have a list of all of the students that you have right here, and basically just a list of the, what they got, 5 out of 15, what percentage that was, and the numbers that they missed. Okay. So again, this could be used to say, you can write them a note or write on their answer sheet or their test, like, here's the numbers that you missed, or something like that. The exam report kind of gives you a similar thing, but just in a different way. The X's obviously are the ones that they missed, followed by their answer and then the correct answer. And then if you do it by question, it's going to give you every student again, and by each question that they miss, as you can see, if it's wrong, it's highlighted in red, and so you'll be able to kind of scroll down through all the students and see kind of what they missed. So maybe you don't want to get individual student scores and look at their data. Maybe you want just a general overview. So in order to do that, I'm going to show you using real data this time with an assessment that my students recently took. So first, here on the main screen, and I'm going to go to reports right here, and I'm going to show you our Revolutionary War exam. So first thing you get here is kind of a score graph. It's like what's called a histogram, and it just gives you basically how your students did with 10% increments. Then it also tells you the average over all 115 of scans that I scanned in, standard deviation 17%. Perhaps the most telling and valuable thing in this whole scenario is this. It's your item analysis. So this gives you kind of a generalized idea of which of the questions on the test did my students not get. And this is where I really like to go to for each class to kind of dig down and go, okay, what do I really need to target for reteaching to the entire class? So when you look at each one of these, when you mouse over them, it kind of shows you that the green is the correct answers, the red are the incorrect answers, and the percentage that answered in each one. Okay, so when you get to one like this that has only 78% of students getting it right and 13% answering a singular wrong answer, what you might have here is a portion of students who have a misconception about one specific thing. Let me try to find another one. Here's another great example. This one even more so, because right here for question number 8, I've got only 47% of students with the right answer, and then a third of my students answering this incorrect answer D right here. So this would be a spot where I would probably want to spend some time reteaching whatever this skill is or this question was in reference to make sure that I get this number up, because I'm not real happy with 47% of students answering that one correct. So again, you get a good idea as to which things your students really understand and which ones they're not getting. The item summary is kind of a similar idea here, just with a graph that presents it a little differently, with more higher green bars being good and higher red bars being not so good. I'm going to skip over to the students and go down to classes. Classes this will give you kind of a good look at individual classes. Now I can't click on this. Actually, if I do click on this, what it's going to do is just give me the breakdown for this class. So this class scored overall 84%. So again, this is probably the most useful thing for to examine for reteaching. So I'm looking at just my first period class now. The last item analysis I looked at was all 4 of my classes put together. But this one I can really pinpoint, okay, did this class get it or not? You can see overall that this class was actually lower, much lower than the average when it came to question number 8, which is, one of the questions that overall my classes didn't do well. In this case, only 35% got that question right. Um, Another cool thing about these features is they can almost always, pretty much anything on here can be downloaded to Excel to compare data. So like I went back to my sample that I was showing you. Now if I want to download that to say an Excel spreadsheet, you click on this thing that says CSV. That means comma separated value. And so what that does is it downloads that in a format that can be opened in Excel. And so if you're doing some really more hardcore data analysis, this is wonderful because as you can see, it's taken and opened this up in Excel. It's giving me the points for, it's giving me the student name, the points that they got, the number possible, their score, and the number that they missed. Now, say that I said, okay, mastery is 80%, and every kid that didn't get 80% needs to, to do a retake or to have something retaught. Then, I can put some formulas in here to flag those students that got below or above an 80% for reteaching, and so I can maybe group students in a way where I can reteach those kids that need to do it again. So this is just another valuable tool that Gradecam is going to give you. Close that. All right, so that's pretty much an overview of the reports that you can get for Gradecam and all the wonderful things that you can do with them. That's pretty much where we're going to end this tutorial. There are lots more things that you can do with Gradecam, but that's pretty much a general overview of the things that I use the most and get the most use and benefit from when it comes to Gradecam. So thanks for listening.